Hey, in this episode of Ask Aaron, I'm going to share with you what I've been saying for years when it comes to content marketing. Let's get into it. So look, I've run Evergreen for more than a decade now, and prior to that, I'd been in the industry for a number of years, and I've always had a very simple philosophy when it comes to digital marketing, whether that's SEO, paid, whatever it is, and the numerous hundreds of brands I've worked with over the years. A philosophy that I've always held really dear is let's turn your website into an information resource, because it dawned on me very early into my career and when the internet was still establishing itself that Google is a search engine, Bing is a search engine. And so I just sat and asked myself, and in those really early days of watching Matt Cutts videos from Google, I mean, that's a real throwback, but in watching those really early videos, in really studying the internet and how Google was evolving, it was very clear to me that Google was a search engine. It wanted to provide the answers to people's questions. Simple enough. Now, fundamentally, that is at odds with what most businesses want, which is just to sell more of their product, to sell more of their services, to increase their brand awareness. And so for me, it was really obvious years and years ago that, okay, well, if we want greater brand awareness, if we want to sell more of our products, more of our services, well, let's be an information resource. Let's give the machines what they want, give the algorithm, give Google more of what it wants, which is our expertise, our advice, our experience, our knowledge, answers to questions. If we do that and we do it consistently, then surely Google will give us more of what we want, because we're feeding the machine, it will give us more, And that to me made real sense, and I just got that. And this is going way back when, at a time where spamming was all the rage, and it was, the internet was a very different place. And of course, the more that the years went on, the more Google started to do a better job, frankly, at policing the internet. That philosophy just worked more and more and more. And it was one of the big catalysts for why I started Evergreen in the first place, because I wanted to work in a very ethical, a very organic and honest way and just say, what is your business, Mr. Client? What do you do? What are you an expert at? Right, can we take all of that knowledge, or a decent amount of it, and can we put it on your website and give it away for free, please? And just doing that, because I said, if I do that, I can get you lots of money back, because people will buy your product, because 9 times out of 10, people want information about the product, they want to understand the service, because they have a need for the product, they have a need for the service, and then they'll come to you to then buy it, because you've placed yourself as an authority. I was doing that years ago, and people just didn't get that. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to start Evergreen, because that was not the way it was done back in the day. Now, you skip forward all of these years to a point where in 2023, way more people talk about this as a principle. It's fairly straightforward. It almost feels a little bit basic these days. And yet, so many brands still don't get this stuff right. So many brands still I'm talking to them in this very boardroom, and they have those light bulb moments where they go, I've never really thought about it like that. So that's why that was really the catalyst for me thinking I'll just record this video, is just to kind of explain that in order to sell more of your product, to sell more of your services, to increase your brand awareness, in order to make your SEO work or get better returns on your paid, stop over-engineering, over-analyzing everything, and actually just break it down into its simplest form and say, look, are we putting really useful content that is better than the next best person out onto our website? Is our website an information resource? Because if it isn't, then that's what we should be focusing on. And so many, I'll give you some characteristics, and I bet you'll be able to relate to at least one of these. So many brands, they have a blog. So everyone has a blog these days, and everyone is creating content, and everyone's pushing out content on social media, and everyone is doing, frankly, a better job at creating content. And more brands are creating video, doing long form content. More and more brands are creating content that they can repurpose and re-leverage across multi-channel. All good things that need to be done. But is your website genuinely the best possible resource for your industry? And a great way to think about this is think, right, as a product, as a brand, what products or services do we sell? What is the topic of those products? And then go in and understand, you get someone on your team to do it, but go and do the research and understand what are the pain points, what are the questions that people ask around that topic. And think of it as topics, not keywords. It's a common thing. A lot of brands love to think, well, where do we rank for these keywords? It's not about where you rank for keywords, it's where you rank and your average position for a topic. Because if Google sees you with the rollout of E.E.A. and all of the stuff that's going on right now, and I do my best to not make these videos super technical, But with the rollout and just how Google is evolving, the evolution of AI, all of that, Google has never been smarter than it is right now. So what you've got to do is, with consistency, reinforce your expertise and your knowledge and put that on your website. And frankly, you've got to give away more. If you want more, you're going to have to give. If you want to grow, you're going to have to give away more, because that's what your competitors are doing. And you need to look at the search results to really understand where is the line in the sand today in terms of how much you're going to have to give away, and then go to town and really focus on that as a whole topic, how you can increase and maximize your visibility, not for a keyword, but for a topic. And then just really focus on adding real genuine value. So whenever we start working with a brand, it's the first thing we do is we look at their website and we say, right, how much is this a shop window or is it an information resource? If it's an information resource, where do they stack up against their competitors? What content have they genuinely got that is just incredible, that is the best on the web, that is evergreen content, that is super useful, super practical? What have they got right now, and what do their competitors have, and what else do we need? And how can we genuinely add value? So I think all too often, brands, marketers, agencies, everyone loves to really overcomplicate this stuff and really make it seem really technical and really scary and really, really complicated. And I think one of the secrets to our success, and something, as I said, that I've been saying for years is, look, content marketing is hugely powerful and effective, massively so, but so few brands go about it right or go about it with consistency. So think about, how do I think topics over keywords, and think, where does my content stack up against the competitors? A quick Google search will tell you that. And then think, right, how can I create, because the best thing about creating evergreen content, which is something, it's been a staple of what we've done for the last decade. And I'll include the link to our evergreen content guide below this video. But the principle behind that is really simple. It's create something truly amazing and do it once. And it's leverage content. The real power of content marketing is creating assets, creating them once, and then they add value for years. That's the very nature of evergreen content. Like this video, I will record this video once, and then I'll be able to put it on there, and it will be a leveraged asset that people might watch in a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, because I know the principle behind this video will absolutely resonate as much as 10 years as it does today. Now, the tech will continue to advance, of course it will, and the latest algorithm updates, but it's going to come back to the machines. Google needs the expertise of the individual, which is the why. It goes back to the why you're in business in the first place. People need your product. People need your service. So if you work out the pain points that your product or your service solves, and then you write that, you share that, you record that, you create that, and you put that out there for free, you're becoming an information resource. If you become an information resource, then Google has a reason to rank your business, your brand, your website, and you're genuinely adding value. Really simple concept, but it's something that I don't see enough brands do, or I see a lot of brands doing it, but not doing it well enough, and not understanding that actually what they're creating is great, but actually it's not as good as it should be. Final tip, a good way to think about this, because there'll be some people I guarantee watching thinking, we do this, we absolutely do it, right? I'll challenge you on that. If you're doing it, great way to think about it, go onto your website and have a look at how much of that content is genuinely about value and not about you. Because brands love to talk about themselves. They love to talk about, what they're doing and how this, that, and the other. How much is genuinely about addressing the pain point of the customer, which ties back to the product or the service. And if you want to go a step deeper than that, go into Google Search Console, filter by your blog, or wherever your blog, your knowledge base, wherever you have your most valuable assets as a brand that are not trying to sell something, but just value added. Go into that, filter by that, exclude your brand. What level of visibility do you actually have? How many clicks, how many impressions from your target countries? What are you actually getting? That will give you a far greater sense of how visible you are as a brand and how much value you actually add, and how much Google, crucially, is recognizing you as an authority around those topics. All right, hope this is useful. I could talk for hours about this stuff. It's one of the core concepts of what we do here at Evergreen, and it's something that I have been saying for years when it comes to content marketing. So I hope you've just taken one or two little bits from this video at least, and that you can go and implement. I'll include a couple of links to guides that build on this as a topic, as a theme. And if you do have any questions, just let me know in the comments. If you can, like, subscribe, do all that YouTubey stuff, I'd very much appreciate it. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Take care.